Welcome to Watches with Dennis, and today I want to touch on two more Rolex watches that were released at 2022 Watches and Wonders. One is a 40mm platinum day date, and the other is the Rolex GMT-Master II for left-handed individuals. I already have a video out on the new reference for the Air King, but I wanted to go ahead and just combine these two because I think they just offer some interesting aesthetic changes and not so much major significant reworkings, though that obviously is quite debatable in the case of the GMT-Master II. But let's go ahead and let's open with the 40mm platinum day date. The reference number for this day date is the 228236, and I should note that pricing is listed as available upon request, so my guess would be that it is what we would call in the industry a lot. In terms of specifications, the case itself is 40mm in diameter. We're talking a platinum watch. The bracelet is the President style with a crown lock folding clasp, and it features a fluted bezel. The movement employed in this watch is the Rolex caliber 3255, which is a COSC certified movement. It beats at 4 Hertz and has 31 joules. The watch offers 100 meters of water resistance. The dial is ice blue in color and is a sunray finish, and I believe the applied indices and the hands are made out of gold. Now, in terms of the left-handed GMT-Master II, that is the reference 126720 VTNR. This watch is also 40mm in diameter. It features a steel case, a black dial, 100 meters of water resistance, and a ceramic bezel, which is dual-colored in this case, with half of it in black and half of it in green. This movement is the caliber 3285. It offers 70 hours of power reserve and obviously supports the GMT function, which is represented by a green hand on the dial. This watch is available both on the Oyster bracelet or on a Jubilee bracelet. The pricing is pretty similar. The retail on the Oyster version is listed at $10,050, and the Jubilee bracelet version is at $10,250. Now, since this is considered a left-handed watch, meaning is for left-handed individuals who often wear the watch on the right wrist, the crown has been moved to the 9 o'clock position rather than the 3 o'clock position. The date has been moved to the 9 o'clock position from the 3 o'clock position, and the Cyclops is over the date as it normally would be, meaning it is also now located at the 9 o'clock position. So what are my overall thoughts on these two different watch models? In terms of the day date, I think the big highlight here is simply that it's very difficult to work with platinum. My understanding is that platinum can tear through tools pretty easily, and as such, the main feature being emphasized, I think, is the fluted bezel, because fluting a platinum bezel is not the easiest thing to do, and Rolex is demonstrating their prowess with the metal by doing it. This joins a couple of other 40mm day dates. Both of those are in gold, one in white gold and one in yellow gold. So this just offers another option if you want a slightly different look or want a more robust metal than what gold offers. It's hard for me to get a good gauge of demand on day dates. It's really the professional line, or what most people might think of as the sports line of Rolex, which is in really high demand. Steel watches in really high demand. And day dates currently are not made in steel. I think perhaps in the past they have been in rare instances. Comment below if you know if that's true or not. I don't want to speak out of turn. But the current lineup, be it the 40mm options or the 36mm options, are all in gold, except now this new platinum one. But overall, I think the 40mm day date just looks like an iterative change. There's more to it in terms of challenge, as I noted, regarding platinum, specifically the fluted bezel approach, which I believe Rolex has indicated, according to them, it's the first time that's ever been achieved. But I think it looks like a good watch for those that are looking for more of that sort of fancy pants business aesthetic that the day date is known for. Now, the watch getting a lot more discussion is this new GMT-Master II, and I think that feeds from two reasons. One, of course, is that it's designed for lefties. Now, is that a smart move or not? I don't know. It's so hard for me to say. I'm not left-handed. I know a number of people who are left-handed and do wear their watch on the right wrist and actually are totally fine with right-handed watches in that configuration. A lot of people don't set, wind, or otherwise adjust their watch while it's on the wrist, so in a way, it's not particularly important to them what side the crown is on. And I've even heard some people say they prefer wearing right-handed watches on their right wrist so that their hand isn't coming up against the crown. But I am sure there are people who are left-handed, wear their watch on the right wrist, and like left-handed orientation for their watches. And this achieves that And I see no reason why Rolex should not accommodate that audience, just like many other watchmakers have accommodated the audience. Now, visually, it looks so different from other Rolexes that this feels like innovation, but it's one of those cases where I think most people are looking at it and going, Rolex, we wish you would innovate more and not just be iterative, but not like this, not like this. And unfortunately, it is like this. So outside of the almost gimmick feel that I think a lot of people walk away from when they see, oh, well, you just move the crown to the other side of the case. You just move the date wheels window to the other side of the case and you glued the Cyclops on another spot. While that took some movement modification, I don't think a lot of people are necessarily blown away by what steps it was. It isn't seen as a major engineering feat, at least to lay people, at least to me. I don't think it is. So what we're forced to look at instead is the other changes, the iterative changes. And that's really the bezel, going with a two-tone black and green bezel. And I think that looks really good. Green has done very well for Rolex. The Hulk is an incredibly popular watch. I have been less fond of the Hulk than I have been what's been known as the Kermit. And this reminds me something of the Kermit because of the black dial here. But again, that was pretty popular too. Of course, everything sports-oriented or professional-oriented from Rolex at this point is quite popular, so it's impossible for me to say anything is unpopular. All that said, the question is, will this watch also constantly be sold out and only available at overpriced gray market values with it being left-handed? And I'm not sure because we've never really seen it before. Aesthetically, everything else about this watch tells me, yes, this should immediately sell out whenever it is in stock at Rolex. But I don't know how many right-handed people, or perhaps I should say left wrist wearing people, are willing to have the crown on the other side. My guess is going to be enough of them that it will still be sold out. I think some might see it as a compromise, but a compromise that they're willing to take for a very classically looking, nice, clean Rolex. Because again, aside from that crown movement, this looks pretty iterative. Ultimately, what I think is going to happen is traditional watch buyers are going to clamor for the dual-colored ceramic bezel to be added to the quote-unquote regular GMT-Master II. And I think within, I'll say 3 years, Rolex is going to go ahead and roll out that option on the standard GMT models. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the new GMT-Master II for left-handed individuals and for the 40mm Platinum Day Date. What are your thoughts? Do you like either of these watches? Are you wanting to see something more radical from Rolex? Are you happy that they continue to just do this style of iteration and innovation? Comment below with your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you want to be notified when I have new videos, that's what the subscribe button is for. Everybody, I hope you all have a great day.